a 107 millimeter rocket landed 3 feet from Brian Kolfage, a U.S. Air Force soldier. This was Balad, Iraq, September 11th, 2004. Terrorists sent bombs into the U.S. camp. He was severely injured at the point of death. It was unlikely Brian would ever see his family or friends again. The camp hospital had to get blood from over 100 people to keep him alive. They had to air vac him to the U.S. for life-saving procedures. At that time, he was the most injured person in combat ever to survive. However, the only way they saved his life was to amputate both legs and his right forearm, his dominant hand. 2 months later, he got discharged from the hospital and began an 11-month journey of rehabilitation, which also came with follow-on surgeries. Brian did not give up, however. He learned to walk with prosthetic legs. He went to college. He got married. And now he has 2 kids. He also loves his country. And when he saw President Trump was having difficulty with getting funding for the wall, he started a GoFundMe page called We the People Will Fund the Wall. Now, instead of doing this alone, he formed a team. And he found people that really had a lot of passion about this, just like he did. He started social media accounts. He got others to actually travel with him and speak on stages to get the message out. And after he set all these outcomes out, and after he executed all this, he's now raised over $25 million, and his team of 15 board members just built a key section right outside El Paso. A key section that cut out drug running as well as 400 illegal immigrants a day in an area that was so hard to build, most people didn't think they could build it. So what was Brian's secret to success of moving beyond all his obstacles that he had and eventually really impacting the culture? He used many of the features that I mapped out for you to learn easily in this cultural impact system. I'm Rick, founder of the Cultural Impact System and creator of the Blessed to Teach YouTube channel. It's great to have you join me for the 3rd video in my free workshop. Find your calling and make true cultural impact. Now in this video, I'm going to outline the exact blueprint you need in order to be used by the Lord to make a real difference for our country, or your country, if you're outside the United States, right? Now, if you've ever confused about how all the pieces fit together and how to maximize how God can use you to help your country, and more importantly, what goes into creating massive success with making true cultural impact, this video is for you. Now, maybe you're a Christian patriot who is just starting to think about how you can help your country, and you aren't even sure where to start. Even if you have very little time, or you like to be behind the scenes, or maybe the opposite, you have lots of time and want to be in front, or you're a Christian patriot who already is making impact and maybe already have all kinds of teams, but you need more motivated Christian patriots to add to your teams, or you're just not able to make the type of impact with your current teams that you want. So in this video, I'll show how Christian patriots like me and you can accelerate how you can be used by the Lord in a much bigger way to make a huge difference to help your country. Now, video number 1, we talked about how you can confirm your passion area in one of the 7 mountains of cultural influence. And that way you can have clarity to where the Lord wants you to focus. Then in video 2, we covered the next step to take so that you can quickly confirm your and other personality types and social styles. So if you haven't seen those videos, make sure you go back and watch those as well. Now today I'm going to build on what was already discussed by giving you the complete blueprint that can help assure you will be used by the Lord to make a difference for your country. By the end of this video, you'll have so much clarity around how you can make that impact, and you'll see how everything fits together. I'm also going to share how you can set proper outcomes using design thinking and agile techniques to execute to those outcomes. Now, once you use this, you'll never have to worry about your entire team of other Christian patriots being fully aligned again. This will help you break free of that frustration and is a key in helping make that large cultural impact in your country so that you can experience clarity of to where that the Lord really wants you to focus. Now, we've got a lot to cover today, so make sure you download the free PDF or have a pen and paper ready so you can take notes as you go along. Now, anytime you're trying to be used by the Lord to really make a difference, it can be hard. Because in the beginning, everything's new. Things like knowing where the Lord wants you to focus, finding other Christian patriots in your area, and knowing exactly how to set outcomes and to execute and really make impact. And then you need to know how all these relate to each other to really maximize that true cultural impact. It's not easy. On top of that, even if you have experience with teams that have made true cultural impact, you're always looking for the 80-20. You don't have time to waste, so you want to find that 20% that's going to produce 80% of the results. That's why the Cultural Impact System Blueprint is going to save you a ton of time. This is the exact blueprint you need to gain clarity on where the Lord wants to use you and how you can really make a difference. So go ahead and click the link down below, and you can find a copy of the Cultural Impact System Blueprints. Blueprint.frustratedwithculture.com, and you'll see the link down below. Again, blueprint.frustratedwithculture.com. Now, with that said, I need to warn you before we get rolling. Once you see the blueprint, you'll be tempted to dive in and start reading and try to apply everything. It gives you the complete overview, but I want to make things easy for you. And I want to do that by covering the 20% that we talked about earlier. So although the blueprint gives you the high-level view, stay with me because I'll walk you through the 20% that gives you 80% of the results. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's video, starting with clarification based on a common question I've been getting. And that is, do I need to form my teams within my region, or how am I going to work with them and talk to people? Well, guys, I'm going to show you how to use video conferencing tools and other remote tools where I can form teams where you don't have to be in the same place. And it works extremely well. In fact, you've seen me interviewing people like Dustin Nemos or Mark Taylor, etc., and I'm using Zoom to do that. This Zoom tool works beautifully on a mobile phone. It works awesome on a tablet. Works awesome on a laptop. So it doesn't matter if you only have a phone or you want to switch between devices at different times, depending on where you are. You can communicate with your team on a regular basis and communicate with me. That's how I'm going to be using the Zoom on the 5 weekly calls that we have. The 5 group trainings that I have with you during this class. You'll take the courses, which will only take probably between 2 to 5 hours a week, and then you'll come together with me and have a community to discuss it with your other Christian patriots. But we are going to be doing that with these remote tools. It's a beautiful way. It works awesome. Now, I'm going to get into this content on this PowerPoint document that I have. And it's a PDF, actually. It's a PDF. And you can actually download that, again, at that blueprints.culturalimpactsystem.com. Let me flip over to that view so you can see the PowerPoint. This is Cultural Impact System, the Cultural Impact System Blueprint. That's what we're going to be talking about. Okay, now, when we get into this, again, you can download it to make it a lot easier by this free gift I'm giving you, this PDF of this full at blueprint.frustratedwithculture.com. Now, let's roll. First page, you may have seen this before, but we'll get into more detail on each of these sections now. And so this is really a 5-week program followed by a impactor community. And so you can see the blue part is all about the 5-week online training and group training sessions with me. So you have group live training with me, plus you'll have this 5 weeks of these courses you take. And again, probably about 2 to 5 hours a week. And so if you have vacation during this time in August, not a big deal. You can catch up pretty easily, right? And so don't miss this opportunity to become a foundational member, which you'll hear all about in the last video. But again, what we're going to get in here is to go through these 5 weeks and then into the community. So the first week is really focused on the 7 mountains of cultural influence. And I need to always emphasize that this has nothing to do with the 7M or dominion theology. This is just simply a way to think about how to how God may be wanting you to be called to what area, and how I can categorize different Christian patriots into a same area. And so, for instance, Brian Colfage clearly is building the wall and in the government area, right? If you think of some other, like I gave Rachel's challenge, right? And her dad, after she was killed in Columbine, he went and did amazing things with the team, but he was obviously focused on education, K through 12 specifically, right? And really helping change the culture in those schools. And obviously, when I started the YouTube channel, and you guys helped me, and I had a team of people help me. I've got people that are moderators and people that are helping me on Facebook, and etc. And you guys are sharing the videos. We're attacking the media mountain there. So those are examples of how we can come together in these different mountains of cultural influence. But we need to attack all 7 of them. If you look here, they're being attacked heavily by the progressives in this funding. That's just amazing. That's coming in from these billionaire leftists that really hate this country, and they are basically they've corrupted the spiritual and religion mountain, and where they just took over the top 2 or 3%, where the televangelists, many have become corrupt. There's even child sex abuse, not just in the Catholics, but there was a Baptist in Houston that just got busted for this. All the denominations and the televangelists have many have become corrupt. The clergy response team was going to turn us into the Obama administration, to the FEMA camps. Supposedly hundreds, if not thousands of clergy signed this. The 501c3 is keeping our pastors from and our churches from being involved politically and speaking out for what's right and wrong. Our family. We talk about the control over U.S. healthcare, where they want to take control of everything, get us all on welfare. It's resulted on 70% of black children without a dad, because it's better for the mom to be alone financially. There's attack on marriage. They get new letters. It used to be LGB. Now it went to LGBT. And now they had to add LBGTQ as they attack the family and the marriage. The transgender movement can't even go to the bathroom. Your daughter can't even go to the bathroom without the threat of some male that thinks he's a female going into the bathroom. Lack of school choice and basically attacking parent rights. The family's under attack. Business. The tech giant censorship is huge now. This YouTube channel is highly censored. Federal Reserve owned by international bankers, and they purposely created the Great Depression. They purposely created the 2008 recession by just restricting the money supply. And then they and all their buddies can go buy up everything at pennies on the dollar. Wall Street is cabal-owned companies all over the place. Big Pharma, they're funding symptoms. They don't want to fund cures. It's too much money. And there's corruption everywhere. They're funding progressives, and the socialism's hitting the businesses. Government. There's a hatred of Trump. This constant lies about him, lies about QAnon, lies about everything. Spying, police state, corruption, controlled by the cabal, foundation dollars, and laundering. Hatred of capitalism, hatred of ICE. 4 open borders. You look at the media mountain. Again, they just take over the top 3%. And actually, these 3 here are the ones we really left as Christian patriots. We left these alone. The media mountain, that's why only 3% of the people believe in God. We were talking about this earlier, right? Mockingbird Media, double agents, 4 a.m. talking points. We get nothing but lies and control from the cabal coming from the media. Controlled by the cabal with propaganda. They want to start wars and fund both sides. They're attacking conservatives and libertarians. They have Media Matters Snopes that are purposely designed as attack mechanisms to control the narrative. Education and academia, they're rewriting history. They have all these foundations that give huge grants out. And so as any type of educational system without that money can really be hurt. And the cabal controls that, and they control what textbooks you use. Professors are teaching hatred of America, the non-godly values from grade school all the way to college. Hatred of America, hatred of whites, hatred of founders. It's just being taught. Arts and entertainment, filth and bad values in nearly all the movies and TV series. there's gays and lesbians in every TV series now. The famous hatred of our values, hatred of Trump. So these famous elite people just spew hatred. The famous athletes kneeling to the flag, and the most, the soccer team not coming to the White House and letting the flag hit the ground. Plays, cartoons, famous, all hating on America and patriots. So that's just why we're frustrated. But we can fight back. And now's the time to fight back. So if you can figure out through talking to other Christian patriots in this system, that's what we'll focus on the first week. Going through my live training, going through the assessment, going through the questionnaire, you're going to get real clarity and confirming where likely God's calling you to. Obviously, with a lot of prayer, we want to add to that as well. And so if I'm coming back, that's the first week. And then you're going to have a lot of clarity and a lot of other Christians with the same passion area. And then we'll get into confirm your team giftings and unite as patriots around these passion areas. And you're going to figure out what your spiritual gifts are and your personality types. And that's what I call a team gifting. And I make it a lot simpler. This is part of that 20% versus the 80%, right? Because you'll be talking to a lot of your Christians using these tools I'm telling you about and using a community site. And then you'll get into these assessments for your spiritual gifts and assessment for your personality type. But they're not as extensive and difficult like the Myers-Briggs, which is really difficult to understand. It's a simple one. We can add these together to make it quickly get to your team gifting. That's why I can do it all in 1 week. It's part of that 20%. You'll understand, are you a giver, a leader, administration, teacher, encourager, sympathizer, compassion, perceiver, server? So if you're a sympathizer, you might be your primary, but you might have a secondary as a teacher, for instance. Or you might be an encourager and have a secondary as a server. So we often have 2 or 3 strong spiritual gifts, making us unique. So we're going to try to find out what our primary and our secondary is. And I think I've told you that my major was a teacher, right? And then we looked at the personality types. It was a teaching urchin, because I like to analyze. I like facts, right? So I'm a teaching urchin, right? So that's my primary, and that's why I started the YouTube channel, right? But I also have a secondary, which is just a leader, administration, as well as a shark, getting results. And so that's my secondary. So between these two spiritual gifts and the 2 personality types, I really know how I should be working on a team, and helps me understand how I can help that passion area that I had in media. Now I'm helping with all 7 passion areas, right? And this and I told you I'm primarily a shark, which want to get results, but I also am heavily an urchin. But I'm facts first guy and versus emotion first. But you need people on your team that are emotion first. Like my wife is clearly, she loves to have fun, but she also really cares about people. She just loves to help people. But she thinks of emotions. Facts drive her crazy a lot of times, right? And then she's kind of balanced, but a lot of times I speak way too fast for her sometimes. I'm thinking too fast. She wants to make decisions a little slower and analyze things. But here, from an emotional perspective, she wants to analyze things, right? Where I am up here, I want to get results. So we balance each other extremely well. And that's the way teams need to be. If you have teams with all sharks, you're not going to analyze anything. You're not going to care that much about people, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Same if you have all whales, you're going to never make a decision, and you're not going to look at the facts enough. But if you have both, you're looking better. Same with the urchin. If you're all urchins, you're gonna spin and always analyze and never get moving. You're gonna be way too slow a lot of times, and a lot of times miss the emotional part and the people part of it because you're looking at facts too much sometimes. Dolphins are having fun. If you have all dolphins, you're gonna have fun, and not get anything done. You're gonna have fun with each other, but you're not gonna analyze the facts. And you're not going to stop to really help people, right? So the balance of this is the power, and video number 2 digs into how important these are for each team and what attributes they have for each team. So go back and look at video 2 for that. Video number 1 obviously went over the 7 mountains of cultural influence. So in video 3 here, we're showing you the full blueprint, That's the second week. So after the second week, after talking to people in your community, taking assessments, going through this, you're going to really understand what your primary and secondary team giftings are. And that's going to allow us to form some balanced teams. And these teams will be practice. They could end up being amazing, cool things where we create companies, where we go create funding mechanisms. But all you learn here will help you on any team you're on now or any team you're on in the future. Again, but we're going to practice doing remote execution of teams next. And that's where we're going to actually learn how to set outcomes and how you're going to effectively execute. And that's this third step here. And that is, you're basically going to use design thinking, which I'll get into, to really set outcomes. That's the first thing, because if you have the wrong outcome, it doesn't matter how good you are executing. You need to have the right outcome, right? So obviously that's why we get into the 5 stages of design thinking. We'll focus primarily on these top 3, because this will be using agile techniques we'll use here on these 2. We'll use agile methods for these last 2. So let's focus on these 3. And what that's going to do, we're going to show you these techniques with a remote team to actually empathize with the end user, who you're trying to influence, who's going to be the beneficiary of what you're doing. And really, we're going to do what we call an empathy map. It's a really cool, simple tool that can be really effective. That's part of that 20% I was telling you about. Just do an empathy map. There's lots of design thinking tools, but that's the one I'm going to really focus on. And then here, the definition, there's a lot of ways you can focus on hypothesis and all these other things. We're going to really focus on a clear problem statement. Then we're going to brainstorm around that problem statement. And that'll give you a lot of ideas and a lot of potential tasks. We're going to prioritize those and put them on a timetable so that you can start prototyping and testing using the agile techniques. So this method is fantastic about getting everybody aligned on the same page and getting the timing of how you're going to act. So now not only do you have a team of Christian Patriots that's well balanced with different personality types and giftings, and you're in the same passion area, now you're brainstorming with them and coming up with ideas. And that's where the power really comes and the synergies come. And that's why it's really exciting to be getting those outcomes outlined and getting everybody aligned. Then we start executing to it. And what's beautiful about this is that the Agile Scrum method, and this is where I've spent most of my career, guys, is helping small teams that are forming them well balanced and then executing to the outcomes we set using what we call Scrum. I'm certified as a Scrum Master. I'm also certified in scaling Agile, or scaling the Scaled Agile framework. I've also got a bunch of badges, they call it, for design thinking practitioners and enthusiasts. And so teaching you how to the 20% that you really need in design thinking and the 20% you need in the Scrum to actually be effective. I mean, people pay over $2,000 on a 2-day course to become good at design thinking. They pay $1,200 to become what they call a Scrum Master in a 2-day course. So you're going to get just in the $3,000 in much less time, as far as not having to put 16 hours into this and 16 hours of this. You're going to be able to find the 20% that really helps for a fraction of the cost. And in the next slide, I'll show you a little bit about the Agile. It's really called Scrum. It's kind of like when in rugby everybody gets together and holds shoulders and they do what they call a scrum. That's where the term comes from. We work together as a small team. I want my teams to be between 5 and 9 people, and then these teams actually will, after they set the outcomes, the plan, right? You're going to actually go through that design thinking and going through the outcomes, and you're going to actually develop and test it and try it out, and then review it. And then you're going to go through some design thinking again and rethink it a little bit, and develop what you actually have to do and test it and try it out and review it. It's a pretty simple process that we will every 2 weeks get results. And that is the beautiful thing. And again, I'm really going to teach you the basics of becoming a Scrum Master. That will help you right now on your team that you are now, or any team in the future. And also on this new team you're going to practice with and or become part of as a part of the cultural impact system. So if you can't tell, I'm kind of excited about this. This is the power of executing. Now, so in summary, you just basically get to your passion area. Then you go through your team giftings. We form balanced teams. You set outcomes. You go execute to them. That's the 3-step process. Weeks 3 through 5 is when we're going to go through design thinking and agile and really practice getting rolling. Then you can go into the impactor community and become an impactor and become more powerful. Expand your team influence and master all these concepts. You might get deeper and deeper as we'll get deeper into design thinking later. We'll get deeper into Scrum and Agile. We may get deeper, especially in the religion mountain, for the spiritual gifts. These are all examples about we'll get deeper and deeper and deeper in the future. But I just want to get you the 20% in the first 5 weeks so you can start moving and making impact right away. So that is a fun thing that I just love to do. And I'm going to change back to the camera view here and just kind of wrap up and summarize what we've been talking about now. And so I hope that makes sense. And if you just think about what Brian Colfridge did, he did those things, right? If you think about what I did for the YouTube channel, I did those things, right? But I'm thinking big now, guys. I think I told you about this. Hundreds of teams supported by my team. Right? So I can't just do this all myself. I need to build my own team, just like I did for the YouTube channel, where I had a bunch of volunteers and people helping, but I'm paying for a lot of infrastructure. As you know, you guys are donating money. I'm paying for people to help me do the technology pieces, my website, all that type of stuff, right? So I have a small team around me on the YouTube channel. Now, I need to build a team to be able to support other teams in all 7 mountains. Where we're not going to be able to fight Soros with no funding. I'm going to teach you how to go get revenue, how to go get money, how to create companies, how to create funding mechanisms. It's going to be fun. We're not going to do 501c3s though. We do nonprofits. That's not that. This is what we'll be doing. So anyway, but let me recap a little bit. I want to do a quick review. Again, it's relatively simple in the 3 major processes, right? Is you find your passion area. And there's a lot of tools you're going to have there. You can do maybe a lot of you already know. That's fine. But we really want to confirm it, hook you up with other Christian Patriots, brainstorm it, and really confirm that that's the mountain you want to be on, right? So a lot of people sometimes realize, oh my goodness, I've been working in the wrong mountain all these years. And we can flip over to the other mountain that's really going to keep them going and where God probably is really calling them. You can see there's a lot of needs based on that slide I showed you of how we're being attacked. Well, the most important, it doesn't feel good knowing what you should focus on right now. If you just look at that map, you can kind of see where you are and know where you need to focus. So regardless of where you are in your journey, whether you've already got a bunch of teams or whatever, do you see how this clarity will help you make true cultural impact much easier and faster? Now that you got those wheels turning, I want to hear from you. I know you picked up on a lot of ideas from this video, and now's the time to get started. So let me know in the comments below what your next step will be, or any questions that you have. And if you found this video helpful, others will too. So give someone else a hand by sharing this video on YouTube, but also maybe on Facebook and on Twitter, or maybe even sending them the link to this to a friend via email. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to implement what you've learned today easier and faster. If you're a Christian Patriot who's just getting started to think about how to make impact, this lays out the exact plan so you can make true cultural impact in your country. And if you're a Christian Patriot who is already making impact and maybe have multiple teams, you'll build on what you already created by following specific steps designed to get you past what's holding you back, so you can get on track and accelerate achieving your goals and dreams. Speaking of learning how to make true cultural impacts in your country, we've been hearing from a lot of people who've had questions about the cultural impact system. And I'd love to hear your questions as well. The next video, we'll talk more about the program and how you can join. The way it works is that I open up the class to the public on a very limited basis. We do this so it runs similar to a college class where we'll all go through it together. So registration opens up only for a few days, then it'll close so I can create space for new members and deliver those content. The course will start on July 29th. We'll open it up probably the Wednesday before, maybe Thursday. So if you're interested in moving forward and to become a foundational member of the Cultural Impact System, you want to join me in the next video when I lay it all out for you. And there will also be a Tuesday night, we're going to have a webinar. And that webinar is going to have bonuses available. We'll probably open up the cart early. Hint, hint, hint. So make that webinar on Tuesday night if you can. But for now, I want to leave you with this. Brian Colfage had no legs and only one hand, and he is making a huge impact on the country, building that wall and getting all that funding in. I even heard rumors that he may be running for Congress now, where he's going to have to get another team to do the fundraising, etc. He didn't do it alone. He confirmed his passion. He got with Christian Patriots that had the same passion. He set proper outcomes and he started executing. Does that sound familiar? If he can do it, so can you, no matter your circumstance. Just by taking part in this workshop, you're already closer to knowing how to make true cultural impact in your country. Think about video 1 where you learned how to confirm your passion area. This training alone has shown you how to have clarity or how to get there and where the Lord might really be calling you. And it's amazing how simple it can be. Now, tell you what, when the class starts on July 29th, you also have assessments, you have some live group training, you'll be with the community and other Christian Patriots, so you'll really be able to confirm that. Then you made big strides in video 2 where you saw how to confirm your personality type and quickly identified the personality types of others so you can work better with other parts of your team. And obviously with you and your team working with others, knowing what their personality types are. That's huge. And knowing this will continue to pay off from now and into the future. And today you got the complete blueprint so you can see the end-to-end vision of being used by the Lord to make a difference. Isn't it easier knowing every step of the way? To make it even better, we cut down to the chase to know exactly what gives you the bigger results faster with less demand on you. In just a few days, you've learned so much about how to start the process of maximizing your cultural impact you can have on your country. And in the next video, I'll share the next step on your journey. I'm so excited about what's in store for you, and I'll see you in the next video. But let me pray first. Heavenly Father, just thank you so much for this group of people and everybody that's listening to my voice. I just pray for blessings on their lives and their family lives. Lord, just use them in a mighty way for your kingdom, Lord. And if this culture impact system for them, impart that on their heart. Let them know what their passion area is, Lord. Allow it to be really clear. Allow this system to be used in a mighty way for your kingdom as well. Lord, give me insight on how to improve it. Allow people to communicate so we can continuously improve this. Just like we're going to continuously improve the teams that are executing. Lord, we need to think big. We're going to be bringing revenue in. We're going to be bringing funding in that can actually go fight the progressive billionaire leftists that are destroying this country. Thank you, Lord, for using us in a mighty way. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, guys, can't wait to see you in video number 4. But before that, that'll probably be Thursday. You can sneak in Tuesday night. I think it's going to be around 7:30 Central Time. You'll get an email from me, so be checking your emails. If you're not on my email list for some reason, make sure you go to blessed2teach.com and get on my email list, or download that free gift. You can give me your email that way as well. It's blessed2teach.com. blessed2teach.com. But I'll be sending an email for invites. You can forward that on to other people for the webinar Tuesday at 7:30 Central Time. And that webinar, live webinar, is going to give some bonuses. You won't be able to get the cultural impact system cheaper anytime than being part of the Tuesday night webinar. There will also be bonuses available, and maybe even a way to earn a t-shirt, a mug, a hat, for being a foundational member of the cultural impact system. So join me Tuesday again at 7:30. Don't forget that. Tuesday around 7:30 Central Time in the webinar. You'll have an email coming to you soon. God bless you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.